Hi, E here again, and today we're going to be making Daredevil's mask from the Netflix series Marvel's Daredevil. I've noticed a few great tutorials online, but they seem to be lacking the tails, which is personally my favorite part, as it makes such a striking silhouette, so I'm going to show you how to make a mask with the tails today. All we're going to need is some black two-way stretch fabric, a pair of scissors, and a measuring tape. The first step is to take your measuring tape, start with a place that's going to be easy to find again on your face, and you're going to go over your nose and around your head. If you go over your nose, that's just the biggest part of your face, so it should be good for you. We're then going to measure from the back of our head down as long as you want the tail to be. For me, that's about right here. You're going to double that number and then add 2 inches for the knot. My total is going to be 50 inches. Okay, now that we know that we need 50 inches, we're going to take our fabric, spread it out so it's all one layer, nice and neat. When you cut it, you don't want to get any wrinkles in it, or you'll make, some nasty lines, and that can be hard to fix later. Okay, when you have your fabric stretched out on a nice flat surface, you're going to take one corner and move it so that it meets with a corner the number of inches away. So I am going to move it so that I have 50 inches from my new triangle point that I'm making in the corner to where it meets the rest of the fabric. You can see I now have a point, measuring it out. There we go, 25. I'm just going to stretch to the next point where I'm cutting to make 50 inches. When you cut, you're going to want to make sure that your point where it's folded all the way to your point where you're bringing your original corner to the fabric is completely straight, because you're going to want to end up with the perfect square. Okay, now we're just going to take our scissors and go for it. If you have a rolling blade and you're more comfortable with that, that's perfectly fine. Scissors, great too. If you get any crooked edges, we are going to sew or glue this seam so you really won't see them. It'll be just fine. Okay? All right, now that we're done cutting, we can get rid of that extra fabric, and you should be left with a triangle. That again, this part should be whatever your inches were. For me, 50. Now, for the fun part, you're going to put it on your head. I'm about to be blind, so bear with me. The top point of the triangle is what's going to be behind you. We will take care of that later, but just so you know, that's going to be at the base. The flat side is what's going to go over your eyes and nose. You're going to stretch those 2 points of the triangle back and tie a knot. The fabric might be a little bit bulky at first, but we are going to take some off, so don't worry. All right. So now you can take that off. You have a good head shape. You have your tails and your knot. What you decide to do with the triangle point is up to you. You can tuck it under and just seal it there with a little stitch. You can cut it off completely. You won't be able to see it between the knot and your hair. If you like to keep it neater, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a stitch over the open seams, so from the folded corner back to our original point, so that when we have the tails in the back, they'll be nice and straight. Okay, so we just finished sewing our seams. You might have seen that I left the corners open. There's 2 reasons for that. 1, so that we can untuck this, and that way you won't see the thread at all. And 2, because in the show it seems like when he's spinning around and everything, the points to his mask are very loose, and it looks like they would be open or they were cut into points. To untuck it, as you can see, I just put my hand in one of our open edges. You just go right through and grab that other edge and pull it through your opening. I also used a 1/4 inch seam if you're interested, just so that we could keep the thread nice and close to the edge and have a nice even fold for you there without too much bulk on the inside. And this comes too, where if you've decided to fold over your triangle point and stitch it, you can do that now. You can glue it, you can cut it off. This would be a good point. If you do cut it, just make sure that where you cut, if you stitched, you have a back seam there as well so that the thread won't unravel. You might want to cut before sewing if you're going to do that. If you have a thicker material, like I chose a spandex, it's a nice 2-way stretch. In the store, you can hold it up and you can see pretty much see right through one layer, but when you have 2 layers like this and it's so close to your face, it is a bit harder to see through. And I mean, you can go all out and be as blind as Matt Murdock, or you could do something like purchase a mask to put some distance between your face and the fabric. I picked a whole face mask just because it has, you know, a nice heavy brow and pointed nose. If you get like a domino mask or anything like that, it's going to be very flat, close to your face, form-fitting. You're going to have the same problem. So I'm going to cut maybe half the nose and the rest off. Wear this, and again, this is up to you. If you're comfortable, you know, having your sight affected, you don't need a mask. So if you have any questions, you can comment below. You can visit my Tumblr at tallstales.tumblr.com or my website, emtall.com. Hope to see you soon.